Work-life balance is the result of reductionist thinking. It suggests we have work and we have life, and that there should be some sort of equilibrium between the two. This suggests work is something to be endured and life is something to be enjoyed. If only we had more time for enjoyment. If this way of thinking were true, what happens at home wouldn't affect our work, and the stresses of work wouldn't affect our home life. Except we know that isn't true. In today's episode, I'm talking about why this notion of striving for work-life balance is flawed. I'm sharing a way of looking at your life holistically rather than reducing it to a disconnected set of parts. Let's get started, shall we? Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Project Joyful podcast. I'm your host, Tracy, your medical herbalist and high performance coach. So, hey, Project Joyful isn't just about being happy. It's about consciously creating a life you love. It's about remembering how to reconnect with your soul-centered joy. You know, that joy that comes from doing what you love, from living on purpose, and from being in a life that allows you to experience deep joy moment by moment. So, hey, let's get started, shall we? Are you struggling to balance your work and your life? It's not just a challenge for focused executives. This is particularly challenging for people who are self-employed because there's a less defined boundary between life and work. Now, COVID has challenged many areas of our lives, not just our health, but also our sense of security, our finances, and our personal relationships. One of the upsides of many businesses actively encouraging their workforce to work from home is that if you can make it work, it has forced you to examine your balance between life and work. For many, doing away with the commute means you get to enjoy dinner with your family. It's now okay to have children and pets peering into your virtual meeting from behind your chair. But if you haven't put boundaries in place, work-life balance has gone completely out the window. So what do we mean when we talk about work-life balance? At its simplest, it's having enough time to deliver at work, to recharge and re-energize, to connect, and to attend to personal tasks, hobbies, and passion projects. The challenge comes when any one of those areas demands more of your attention than you have to give. Many people respond to this circumstance by horse trading. If I spend less time doing that, I have more time to give to this, or if I give up on that, I'll have more time to give to this. Life coaches like to represent this as a pie chart. They call it the wheel of life. It's essentially a circle with segments in it, and each segment represents an area that matters most to you. So, for example, you could have as your segments recovery, love and connection, family, hobbies, sport, your passion project, spirituality, and work. And if enough time is given to each segment, the wheels go round and round and everything's good. Reduce attention in one area or remove it and the wheel's wonky. It throws you off balance, it can cause damage, and ultimately it won't get you to where you want to go. The OECD Better Life Index measures a range of things which together provide an indication by country of our quality of life. Two of those measures relate to work-life balance. They're how many hours you spend at work and how many hours you have to attend to personal matters. In the OECD, 11% of full-time employees work more than 50 hours a week, and a full-time worker spends on average 15 hours a day on personal matters. Now that might seem a lot, but personal matters include sleeping and eating, as well as leisure activities. So if you're dedicating your 8 to 9 hours of sleep, that doesn't leave a lot of time for everything else. Now in New Zealand, a land blessed with a wide variety of outdoor pursuits, 15% of our employees work more than 50 hours a week, and we spend 14.9 hours a day on average on personal things, so even less. So how do we address this issue? First of all, work isn't any more important than any other area of your life. It's equally important, and it's a useful tool for living your values, learning more about your world and who you are, and it's an opportunity for personal growth. Check out episode 9 of this podcast on how to find your joy at work. Now get really clear about what you're delivering at work and how you're doing that. then focus on doing just that. When new opportunities come up at work, don't automatically say yes. Measure it against your values and why you choose to work where you work, or, if it's applicable, the work you want to do in the future. If after measuring it, it's still something you want to do, check in with what's already on your plate. What can you let go of or delegate to somebody else in order to fit this in? If there's nothing you want to let go of, then choose not to pursue this new opportunity. Get really clear on your boundaries, especially if you're self-employed. Practice saying no before you need it. Get clear on your outcomes and the 5 moves that will get you to that finish line. Remember the wheel of life? If that pie chart is made up of all the areas that matter most to you, then invest the time in getting really clear about what needs to happen in order for you to feel good about each of those areas. For example, is it being home for dinner with the family 3 times a week? Being present and listening to your partner when you walk through the door? What needs to happen in order for you to consistently deliver on that? Work it out and schedule it in. Now, I know it's not sexy, but what gets scheduled gets done. Once you've done this, you'll know exactly how much attention each of these areas needs. But there's more. Here's the fundamental flaw with work-life balance. Your life is your life. You don't have a work life and a life. You have a life. Problems at home, it will show up in your work. Stressed at work, you'll take that home. How you show up at home is how you show up at work and vice versa. So rather than adopting the commonly held reductionist view of work and life being 2 separate things, go up a level in your thinking and consider it holistically. Because your work is another opportunity to live your values, to learn and to grow. So the question is, what matters most to you? How do you give those areas enough attention so that they flourish? How do you generate enough energy to feed those areas of attention? Don't have enough energy to devote yourself to the things that need to get done? Then building your energy reservoir is your number 1 project. Why? Because it will improve every other area of your life. Think about it. Look at your life today. What would it be like if you had 3 times the energy or 10 times the energy? But Tracy, I don't have the time to devote to that project. I don't have balance in my life right now, I hear you say. Building your energy starts with the small things. Drinking at least 3 litres of water through the day. Going for a walk each day or perhaps a bike ride with the kids on Sunday. Now that's a double bonus because you're serving your body and your kids. Check out episode 6 on increasing your energy with active recovery for more inspiration. Increasing your energy reservoir doesn't require a lot of time, but it does require commitment. So give yourself the gift of finding balance in life. You're so much more than your work. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. Can I ask you a favour? If our conversation spoke to you today, could you please take a moment to leave a 5-star review? Your review will help people discover this podcast, and together we can create a world where there's even more love and more laughter. And if you want to hear more from the Project Joyful podcast, just click the subscribe button. Bye for now.